Welcome everyone. I'm Laurentio. She's Alexandra, twin flames in Harmonious Union, students of Jeff and Shaleia, and ascension coaches affiliated with Twin Flame Universe. And today we're going to speak about...
Well, we're just gonna share a story of how we healed like my smoking addiction using the mirror exercise and the teachings of Jeff and Shaleia. And this was like one of the first like results that we got. Like, of course, like we got a lot of results with the work of Jeff and Shaleia, but this was one of like the bigger ones that we had in the beginning, like in the first like month or two since we joined the school. And I know that addiction, and for me it was like smoking can be like a weird subject, or like there are a lot of people that talk about it and they want to like quit smoking or quit their addiction, but they don't really know what to do or how to deal with it. Well, I just want to share how we did it and what it took for us, and hopefully like you will start doing the mirror exercise and you will see like the mirror exercise is such a great tool for healing. And not just of course we encourage you to do it for your twin flame journey, but it can be used for like every other area of your life. And this is just one example of how we improved our lives drastically using the mirror exercise and the teachings of Jeff and Shaleia. So just to have like a little bit of history about me and smoking, I smoked cigarettes. I started in high school, but it was like at end of high school, and I continued throughout like university. At some point, like I knew that I didn't want to smoke. I really had my addiction would go like I would smoke like regularly, then something would happen like a trigger, and then I would start like smoking more and more and more. And usually I would start feeling like very bad, like physically, like I would have like coughs, and like I would feel like really congested, like in my chest, and then I was like, okay, I need to like stop, and I would usually like cut back. Sometimes I really quit smoking, like I quit smoking once for like 3 months and one for like 6 months, but like I always came back into it, and I never really got to like just kind of uproot it all together. And as of now, I have 1 year and 4 months, kind of 4-6 months since I stopped like smoking. I don't know exactly. I know it was in December, so it was kind of like 4 months, as of the shooting of this video. And so what happened is in 2018, in November, we joined Twin Flame Ascension.
2018?
Yes,
2018. Oh my God,
yeah.
The time flew so
Yeah. In November, we joined Twin Flame Ascension School, and we started learning to do the mirror exercise more in depth, meaning from, watching the classes, reading the book of Jeff and Shaleia. And, for us, it was also something that was happening between us, because Laurentio was not smoking. He never smoked. So therefore, it was uncomfortable for him to be with someone that was smoking. So, yeah, do you want to talk about that a little?
Okay, yeah. So for me, it was more like when we got even into a relationship, she was smoking. I was like, okay, I love you, but I don't like this, so I'm just gonna sacrifice myself here a bit. You know? I was letting from myself because I had this pattern within myself, but like I was working through, okay, accepting Alexandra even if she was smoking. But I was having a lot of upsets. I was telling her a lot of times like, hey, you should stop smoking, it's not good, it's expensive.
Well, I know it's true, but back then I was like, let me be. I just want to be myself, and if you're gonna love me unconditionally, you better love me no matter what, okay? Yeah, so
yeah, it was quite something even then, and I know I had to work through a lot of just unconditional love and support while she was going through this process, because I know this was a bigger thing for her, and like we just had to go deeper and find out. But in order for her to open up and heal there, and actually like me supporting there was like her having a safe place, safe space where she can open up and just go there and heal that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that after we got together, so this was like pre Twin Flame Ascension School. When we got together, I smoked, but for a while, and then I gave up. And I think that was like the moment I kind of gave up for like 6 months almost, you know. So it was still kind of like a good thing. But then what happened was like I wanted to change and to improve into my life, you know, because this is what you do with your twin flame. You try to go deeper into love, you know, and try to improve your life. So I managed to quit smoking, but I had a problem with weight, I remember. And I just wanted to lose weight. I gained a lot of weight from my previous relationship, so not necessarily like with Laurentiu, but like my weight like kept increasing, you know. I was like on an increasing spree with my weight. And I felt very uncomfortable because of that, and I wanted to do something about it, you know. And at some point, you know, I started kind of like a diet, I remember. And then on top of that, so I started a diet, and on top of that, my end of university was approaching, and I had to do a bachelor degree, and I also had work shit going on. So it was like just a lot of things for me. And I know, like, I remember, like, sat down with you and I was like, look, I know that you don't like when I smoke, but in order for me to deal with everything, like, you know, I want to, like, lose weight, I want to do my bachelor degree, I want to perform at work, like, I felt like I didn't have, like, that, I don't know, power or, like, support or whatever, and I needed to smoke, basically. And, I was like, listen, I know, I'm gonna, you know, I know that you love me, but I need this right now, you know. And I remember that we really had this conversation in which we sat down, and I was like, look, I need it. I don't know how to deal with everything that's going on except smoking. So I started smoking again, and then almost like a year passed, I believe, until we joined Twin Flame Ascension School, and we started learning about Jeff and Shaleia's teachings. So what happened was, like, we started going deeper with the teachings and doing the mirror exercise, and I know that this was something that was like kind of regularly upsetting us, the fact that I had to smoke. I went outside, and I was actually in the point where I was more relaxed into my life. So I didn't have the bachelor degree, my weight was fine, you know, kind of I achieved that, you know. So I felt like, you know, I had kind of like the space and the openness to kind of try to tackle this issue again. But now we had like this healing tool, you know, the mirror exercise, and we kind of understood how twin flames work as well. Like, he triggers me and mirror stuff in me, and I trigger him, and I mirror stuff in him that he needs to work through. So we started to do the mirror exercise, and I think it's important if you tell your story first, because I know that before I quit smoking, there was like, so we went through like upsets together, we did a mirror exercise. Of course, what I was going through looked a little bit different than he was going through. So what kind of upsets did you heal when we worked, like, if you remember, just like kind of the overall theme of what we...
Yeah, just give me a second, because I was not...
I know, you're not prepared for this video. I would just like sit down and let's talk about this. I feel good about talking about this now. Okay.
So what I can remember about this is that I don't know why I was always associating cigarettes with cheating. So
okay.
So whenever it was this, like I didn't like her to smoke, because she always like was getting to like, guys, can you give me a smoke, if like
or a lighter, you know,
a lighter or something like this, and that was like and like, or
social
others
interaction.
or others coming to her, but because it didn't feel good the way she interacted with people. So that was what it was reflected to me, how I was interacting with people, why I was interacting with people. that was like.
So funny. Okay, continue.
So that was one of the things that I had to heal myself, like what she was mirroring there, and.
And I believe to like really trust me that I was not cheating on you, because you know all the signs could say like, oh, she's kind of going out here, or she's like hitting on this guy or doing this thing, you know, but I wasn't, you know, that was not the thing. I just wanted lighter, you know. So yeah. It was. And just, I was telling you, I'm not cheating on you. I'm not cheating on you.
Yeah, we had to heal a lot through that, and like I think this is my. The core of my blog, it was more about this thing with cheating about this, because I feel after we healed the thing with smoking, I don't even remember having that issue anymore. Like I don't remember. Do you remember anything afterwards?
No, I don't really. No.
So I think that was that was my side of the blog.
So interesting.
It looks so different. I know it's weird, but basically that was for me, like this thing with. Cheating, only being afraid that what she's gonna do, because if you think about it, in the times before the mirror exercise.
In the times before the mirror exercise.
Yes. So before being in these teachings, I was having issues because where we were living in a small apartment outside of the city, and she was going into the city to university, work, and everything.
Yeah, I was a lot away from home, you know. I had days in which I woke up at 7 and leave and come back at 9 p.m., you know. So from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. I was gone because I had to go to work, to university. I had, you know, to go to the library and study and stuff like that. So sometimes the days could get that long, you know, for me to be. And Lawrence, he was staying home for most of the part. Yeah, so
let's just speak a bit about that so they can understand. So why I was staying home, because it may be like, what the heck are you doing? So it happened that when we got together, we just switched to a place to live together.
Yeah, outside of the city.
And I just get back into the back into this country from London.
Oh no, we don't need to say that story now. It's okay. No. We're just living outside of the city. It's like complicated for us.
Just outside of the city, but I was not working at that moment because we spoke to make a pact. Me staying home, take care of the stuff home, so she can focus on her work and university, so we can just roll on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So when was that happening? She was going still to university. I was staying there. I was taking care of the home. And then I was just getting all these panic attacks about what she was doing outside, because like she went outside sometimes like on Saturday just with her colleagues out on just playing board games. But I was just getting so triggered because she was not responding at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, because she was not still coming home, but she was not responding. So it was like, you know, the perfect excuse to do something. So I was getting all these triggers.
I was not doing anything.
Yeah, but this was what was...
you had this problem a lot.
Exactly. So I had this problem a lot, but now I just realized that this was my side of the block. I never thought before. Ask me now.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're talking about it now. Yeah, so we healed that. You healed that. And then I know that for me, like coming back to after knowing the mirror exercise, you know, I was still kind of poking at him, you know, before I could go like into like my core issue, you know. It's like, oh, are you gonna love me now, you know? Are you still triggered because I'm smoking? And I was like really kind of upfront about it. I know it kind of may sound weird and like not nice, you know, but I was like really just kind of very upfront about the fact that I was smoking, and kind of like in your face, you know, like, I'm smoking, are you gonna love me, are you gonna love me, you know, like. And I know like sometimes it was like so, like I know that once I kind of like blew smoke into his face and he was like very upset about it, you know. And then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. And then however we stood when I was smoking, like the smoke came into his face, like the wind blew in such a way that it came into his face no matter what I did. I was not trying to control it or anything. It just came into his face.
It's like it was homing smoke, you know.
Yeah, it was like his face, you know. Yeah, what I did, the smoke. Anyway, after we got like, it was like a little bit of that, you know, in which I was kind of testing him, like, are you okay? Are you like still triggered about this? Are you still triggered about this? Are you still triggered about it? You know. Then I could like, I finally kind of felt, I was working through my own stuff, you know, but it was only after he kind of like was like very vehement about like, no, I'm not triggered by this anymore. I feel peaceful, you know, there's nothing for me here anymore about this. Only afterwards, I was able to just go in and really, really deep and see what was the core of this kind of like issue that I had and what caused the addiction in the first place. And for me, well, like, even thinking back now when I started smoking, it was in high school, but I wasn't like one of the cool kids that started smoking in like high school and stuff like that. No, I was not like that at all. Like the first year of high school, I was like a nobody, you know, and then kind of something changed, you know, and I also started smoking in the last year. So I was like in the last year of high school, and people started to kind of like me. So for me, I was using smoking as an excuse to like connect with people, because I didn't kind of know how to connect with people otherwise, because otherwise I would be just rejected. So I was using smoking, you know, as a way to interact, you know, like, because it was very easy for me when I got into university to make friends, because we would all go out and smoke together, right? So we would talk about stuff, you know, we had like this kind of reason why to connect, and it was because of smoking.
Yeah.
So when I found the core of that, you know, this was it. I learned from like Jeff and Shaleia's teachings that you make a new choice, you know, and your choice has power. And, you know, I made a new choice to just connect out of love, to connect because I care about somebody, to connect and receive connection because there's something more than just this addiction, you know. I don't want to have friendships or people in my life that only talk with me because they can get the cigarette when they don't have a cigarette, or they can get the lighter when they don't have a lighter, you know, or anything like that. No, I want real friendships in my life that make sense, right? They are people that unconditionally love me, and for me as well, to unconditionally love myself, to unconditionally love people around me, and not just, you know, make connections from this place of addiction, right? And not have something else, you know, to kind of trigger this relationship between us. So as soon as I realized that, I let it go, and I healed at the core. And I still had, in a way, like what we call upheaval, when you just let go of things. So maybe like I remember that after I kind of found that core, it still took me like 1 or 2 days to just kind of finally let them go, because I had this weird pattern of another thing that was kind of keeping me a little bit in the loop, was the fact that whenever I wanted to give up smoking, I had to finish the pack that I had, so all 20 cigarettes to be smoked. But by the time that I smoked them all, I felt bad and I felt like I needed more cigarettes, right? So I would buy another pack, and it will never end, right? So I know that when I gave up smoking and I was like, okay, it is time, I left 1 cigarette or 2 inside of the pack, and also the lighter, you know. I was like, okay, it is time now, and I commit to this. So I had a little bit of a commitment block there to like fully commit to living without smoking, because that's something that you will have to, because like if you listened in the beginning when I was talking about like losing weight and university and work and all that, it was kind of like a stress coping mechanism for me back then, and I didn't know how to deal with stress, so therefore I was using smoking as a way.
Yeah, but you didn't knew that.
I didn't know that, right? But what I'm trying to say is that right now, you know, I have to deal with stress, right? I have to deal with these situations, and I had to like commit to myself that whenever I will go into a situation that seems similar, you know, I wouldn't just go and grab a smoke again, you know. I wouldn't do that to myself, you know. And also I had to like commit to living this life without smoking, right? So as soon as I made that choice and kind of had like the ritual with, you know, leaving 1 or 2 smokes inside of the pack and throwing it away, that was kind of like a kind of like a physical cleanse, you know, like cutting the cords and stuff like that. As soon as I did that, you know, it was easy for me to just finally let it go, and I didn't felt the urge to smoke. Like I remember like the previous times when I finally let go of like quit smoking, you know, I always had like a period in which I felt like I needed right to smoke. But with this, with the mirror exercise and the teachings of Jeff and Shaleia applied for this particular area of my life, as soon as I healed that and made that choice and committed to being healed, I did not feel the need to smoke ever since.
Yeah, and the main blog, the core blog, may be different for everyone.
Yes.
We just share our own experience, what we found in our lives, what we were going through. And it's really interesting to see how this can change in an easy way, because we tried to work through smoking before.
Yeah.
But
with other healing modalities, but it didn't work.
It wasn't like, it was for a moment. It was results for moments. It wasn't permanent results like now. Because like now it just doesn't feel like that, and it's just like so perfect for the corona because we don't have to go out so much. So
What?
Now in the time of the quarantine with the coronavirus, we just don't have to.
Oh yeah, because I mean I was respectful when I was smoking and I wouldn't smoke inside, so I had to go out. So I guess like we don't need to go out.
Yes. So
okay.
I just feel to bring this up because it just felt good in this way. So we get benefits.
Well, there are plenty of benefits outside of the coronavirus. So just to have like a time frame of how this happened, we joined Twin Flame Ascension School in November 2018, and in December 2018 was the last time that I smoked a cigarette. And it was just all because of Jeff and Shaleia's teachings and doing the mirror exercise and watching the classes and applying what they taught, you know, in this area where I felt like I needed healing and I desired to heal. And, you know, we tried healing before around this, and we did kind of like energy healing and other things, but we didn't really had the results that we had until we found Jeff and Shaleia's teachings and really diving in and just doing the mirror exercise as Jeff and Shaleia teach. And I never experienced like having my life changed in such a drastic way in such a short period of time. And it just helped me have this permanent healing that right now I don't need to smoke again. I don't feel the need to do that again. And it's again all because of Jeff and Shaleia. So thank you, Jeff and Shaleia.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And
we just want to say as well that it's really different, this peace that we feel within ourselves than before. And just know that for you it may be a different upset than what we have. You may have your own thing that it's maybe very, very different than what we have, but we'll just share our own experience about this.
Yes. So I encourage you to do the mirror exercise and like watch Jeff and Shaleia and join the teachings. And this is all. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment down below, like and subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video.